Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, Sloka 66, Part 73. Sarva-dharmān parityajya, mām ekaṁ śaraṇaṁ vraja, ahaṁ sarva-pāpebhyo, mokṣayiṣyāmi ma śucaḥ. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. In Sutram 203 of Sri Vachanabhushanam, Pillai Lokacharya gives two stories, examples. One is Vainataya Vrittantam, that is Garuda's story that we learnt in the previous session. And the second example is Parityajya, who was a Sri Vaishnava and lived many years back during the time of Kuratarvan. Kuratarvan was a direct disciple of Sri Ramanujacharya. Parityajya was a disciple of Kuratarvan. He was a very knowledgeable person and aged too, but he had a bad habit of continuously offending devotees. It comes very naturally for him without any extra effort. He offends the devotees based on their birth, based on their practices. So this news reached Kuratarvan as complaints from others. Being a compassionate guru, Kuratarvan wants to correct the situation and save his disciple from offending Vaishnavas. On one auspicious day, Kuratarvan approached his disciple Parityajya and asked his disciple to give him some gift. He told Parityajya that you have been very charitable to many, but you have not given anything to me. Can you please give something to me? And Parityajya said, My dear Lord, my dear Master, I have nothing that can rightly fit as a charity that I can give it to you. You are my Lord. Then Kuratarvan said, Get some handful of water. As pouring into my hands, say that you are giving all the offenses that you committed, manasika, vachika and kayika apacharam, unto me. After you give it to me, then make sure you don't commit these mistakes again. Parityajya, with tears in his eyes, followed the instructions of his guru and then was sincerely trying to not commit any offenses to any Vaishnavas. But unfortunately, it did not pass even 2 days. Parityajya went back to his bad behavior of offending Vaishnavas. Parityajya realized his mistake, that he could not keep up his promise to his guru, and he started offending Vaishnavas. He felt he is totally hopeless. He can never be free from his bad habit of offending Vaishnavas. He can never go back to the Lord. Kuratarvan understood what has happened. Being very compassionate, he doesn't want to give up on his disciple. He still wants to correct his disciple. So he came to the doors of Parityajya. But Parityajya refused to let his guru Kuratarvan inside because he was shameful. He told that he has no hope. There is no point in wasting on him to correct his bad behavior, and begged his guru Kuratarvan to return back. But Kuratarvan still entered the house of Parityajya and spoke to him. I am exceedingly happy to take a note of your deep and sincere repentance for entertainment of an evil thought against Vaishnavas, even before it could manifest itself in word and deed. You realize that your mind is offending a Vaishnava But before it can come in your words and action, you are able to identify that you are offending a devotee or getting ready to offend a devotee verbally or physically. This is very good because earlier Pillai didn't even think that how much he is offending Vaishnavas. But at least now he is realizing that he is thinking bad about Vaishnavas. So this was noted by Koratharvan, and Koratharvan was appreciating this first step towards positive progress. Then Koratharvan said, out of 3 ways of apacharam, that is manasika apacharam, vachika apacharam and kayika apacharam, offenses committed by mind, through mind, offenses committed by words, offenses that are committed physically by hurting another devotee. I suggest that you be very extra careful with vachika apacharam, offenses which are spoken, which are by words, because manasika apacharam, if you commit, you can beg for forgiveness from the Lord directly, and the Lord will definitely forgive you for any manasika apacharam. But one must approach the Lord and seek for forgiveness if one commits manasika apacharam. Whereas kayika apacharam, as a physical act, physically offending a devotee, I am sure you will not commit such things. You have that bad habit of offending devotees, but you're not so bad where you are going to offend devotees physically. Even you are aware if you do so, you will definitely be punished by the king for hurting someone, as that is the law of the government. Therefore, I am pretty sure you are not going to commit kayika apacharam. What is left out is vachika. This is something that you must put effort to take care of. Manasika, seek for forgiveness from the Lord and the Lord will forgive. Kayika, you are not going to do, because if you do, you will be severely punished by the king himself. So the only thing is vachika. Control your tongue, not to speak bad about devotees. After this, it is said, Pillai Arvan rectified his mistake and was very careful to not commit any offenses, especially vachika apacharam, and he was able to attain moksha in that very life. Pillai Arvan was very fortunate to have such a guru who was constantly checking on him to make sure he progresses in his Krishna consciousness and be successful in this very life. Some of us may not have that fortune to have constant physical association of a guru, but we will certainly have the instructions of our guru in one form or the other. Therefore, we must be carefully following the instructions of the guru to avoid any offenses to any Vaishnavas. It is said in Linga Puranam that yap pashyati subhacharam Vaishnavam beta kalmasam yasmin kasmin kulo jatam praname dandavat puvi. Whatever a Vaishnava's kulam, jati, age, jnana, gender, etc., as long as he is a Vaishnava, he is a devotee, one must fall at his feet like a rod and seek for forgiveness or get his blessings. So we have seen 2 stories. One is Garuda's story and one is Pillai Arvan's stories. This Garuda story was told by sages like Narada to Dhritarashtra when Krishna came there as messenger, that be careful not to offend the devotees of the Lord, because the reaction will be severe. For that reason, Garuda's story was narrated. But unfortunately, nothing changed the mind of Dhritarashtra. He went ahead with his plans and obviously faced the consequences. In the second story, Pillai Arvan's story, by birth, Pillai Arvan was a Brahmana, but he was offending non-Brahmana Vaishnavas. Even though by birth he was high, but because of his behavior, the ahankara of that birth, he became low. Whereas the other Bhagavatas who are not born as Brahmana took the higher position because they have no ahankara because of their birth. Garuda was Deva Jati, whereas Shandili was Tri Jati. Pillai Arvan was Brahmana Jati, whereas the Bhagavatas whom he offended were non-Brahmana Jati. Compared to Garuda, who was high in his birth, Shandili was higher in position because her birth did not give her ahankara. Likewise, in Pillai Arvan case, he was a Brahmana, but because he had that ahankara that he is a Brahmana, his birth of being born as a Brahmana became an hindrance for his progress. Whereas those people whom he offended were not Brahmanas, therefore they didn't have that ahankara, their birth helped them to progress spiritually. In the Sutram 204, Pillai Lokacharya says that even if one doesn't have any knowledge or practices, no jnana, no anushtanam, but by just having the association of a devotee, a Bhagavata, and serving him, this person will get ultimate benefit, ultimate result of even attaining moksha. In the other hand, if one has complete jnana and anushtanam practices, this person has complete knowledge of Krishna consciousness. He knows everything in and out. He can answer any questions. He can help and guide people in their spiritual life. He practices everything meticulously. These two, jnana and anushtanam, are the means or hetu to attain moksha. But in the association of devotees, if this person offend them, then the same association is good enough for him to be ruined. He will not attain the Lord's mercy, which means he will not attain the Supreme Lord. That knowledge and that practices that he has are considered to be lower in rank compared to the offenses that was committed against Vaishnavas. The offenses takes priority, not the jnana anushtanam. He will not be excused because he is very knowledgeable. He practices everything perfectly. Those two things will not be considered at all when a person offends a devotee. That offense takes precedence over the jnana anushtanam. Rather, this person will fall under the anger of the Lord. Let's repeat one more time. A person who doesn't have jnana or anushtanam, no knowledge or no practices, but if he simply has the association of a devotee and serves that devotee in whatever way he could, he will attain moksha. On the other hand, a person has complete knowledge and practices to the best, but if he offends a devotee, then his knowledge and practices will not save him. That offense that he committed against a Vaishnava will burn him, will destroy him. One must value the association of devotees. It is only because of a great compassion of Srila Prabhupada that we have Vaishnavas all over the globe. We should not misuse this opportunity and start judging devotees based on their color, their birth, their practices, the place where they live, etc. It is said in the Smriti that Pashu Manushya Pakshiva Echa Vaishnava Samsritaha teneva te prayasanti tadvishnoho paramam padam. Whether it is an animal, a human, a bird, whatever it may be, if they come in contact with a Vaishnava, that entity will attain Paramapadam, Sri Vaikunta. Somehow or the other, one has to be associated with a Vaishnava. That's all it requires. The jnana and practices, though it has its place, but when it compared to the association of a devotee, they have no value. It is simply because of one's association with Vaishnava makes one qualified to attain spiritual world. In Parasara Smriti, it is said, Yamyam sprusati pānibhyam yamyam pacchati shakṣusaha stavarānyapi muchyante kim punar bandhava janaha. A Bhagavata, whatever he touches by his hands, whatever he looks upon, even if they are just a matter, they attain moksha. If that is the case, then what to speak about those who are related to a devotee, those who are in association of such a devotee? There is not even a question or a doubt whether these people will attain moksha or not. The point that has been made here is one may have knowledge, one may have practices, but by committing offense to a Vaishnava, he loses the mercy of the Lord. But if a person who doesn't have knowledge, doesn't have practices, but he is in the association of the devotee, he gets the complete mercy of the Lord. So what one must know is few things. First of all, I must have interest of wanting to attain the Lord's lotus feet. I want to attain the spiritual world. Number one. Number two, I must know that I have no other hetu, no other means. I don't have knowledge and I don't have any practices. The knowledge that I have, if at all I have, is very limited, and the practices are not up to the mark. So the third point is, but I am related to this Parama Bhagavata, the great devotee, this great devotee. Therefore, the Lord will not leave me. This firm understanding must be there within us. When we have this firm faith that if I have the association of Parama Bhagavata, I will not be left alone. Even if I don't have jnana anushtanam, all I have is the association of a devotee, or inclination towards wanting to have association of a pure devotee. The Lord will make all the arrangement in such a way the association of devotee is received in some form or the other. With that association, this person will gain knowledge and start practicing. So all that we really need to aspire, as Parasara Smriti said, somehow or the other come in contact with devotees. When they touch us, when they look upon us, when they speak to us, or even if we are around that person, that itself good enough for one to get the mercy of the Lord, to return back to Vaikunta. To illustrate this point, we are going to see another story in our next section. Thank you. Hare Krishna.